I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken too.
Hello and welcome back to the Smite Draft League. It's Season 2. We've got Divine Division action for you. I'm Anthony Malum. I've got Cosmic Warrior with you. On the left, we've got the Sunbreakers. On the right, we've got Team Flourish. Cosmic, are you as excited as I am?
I most certainly am. And not only is it the very start of the new season, you don't know how these teams are going to be playing. And, it's exciting in its own right, but you just look at some of these names and you just know we are in for an absolute treat today.
I agree completely. I mean, between names returning from last season that went crazy, I'm looking at ZTantalus, I'm looking at Flippin' Ninjas, I'm looking at Evan from Scouting Grounds. Went crazy in game number 1 of the Scouting Grounds. There's so much talent that we've got here. Uh, you know, these guys could play anything. They could play any team comp, and I'd be excited to watch these games. But the storylines we've got tonight, those are really what drives this home for me. But talk me through what you're seeing in these first bands so far before we get into the stories.
Seeing pretty traditional bands, basically the majority of the bands that we see in high-end competitive Smite consist of two things. They consist of junglers and they consist of magical ADCs. That being said, I'm getting proved wrong with the Merlin band, but high priority mages as well. Merlin, Tiamat, those types of picks, very, very high priority. Not surprised to see any of them gone this far.
Yeah, same here. The Oleron getting through is interesting to me. We could look at this as a flex because we saw Evan play ADC in Scouting Grounds, but we know that Evan was selected most likely as a mid laner. So I'm curious if this Oleron is going to Evan and going to mid, if it's going to Evan going to ADC, or if it's going to Koala and maybe going to ADC. But now that the teams are actually made, and it's not like scouting grounds where everything is randomized, I'm excited to see how these guys flesh out their team comps and where we start to see some unique things where we could see those flex picks consistently.
For sure. One thing that was interesting about the draft was just a lot of overlap in player capabilities. We saw a lot of players specifically being mid lane players. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they decide to do things role wise. I'd imagine. I think I'd prefer to see Oleron in the duo lane.
Same.
I did see Evan put in some absolute work on some magical ADCs in the scouting ground, as you said, so we could see that. On the other side, Thor has definitely been a menace in Smite. He just so much pressure at all stages of the game, very, very aggro, get on you, God, and that has just been the absolute name of the game as far as the jungle is concerned here in season 10.
And with the Sylvanas lock-in, let's talk a bit more about that Thor. So we know Flippin' Ninjas is the jungler for Team Flourish, and another interesting thing going alongside that is Almond Butter, who we just saw lock in the Vimana. Probably going to end up being support, but that was a pickup that, as of this recording, was today. So Almond Butter has had no time with this team. Just met all these members before the game, got everything situated to run it on what I'm assuming will be support. And there's a great team surrounding Almond Butter, but that's got to be so stressful to get in there quickly and instantly have to, you meet your new ADC, you meet your new shot caller. You're trying to give everybody your god pool, what you feel comfortable playing. That's a lot.
For sure, but confidence is key in these situations. You just gotta go in, trust
And full send it.
yourself, and just know that you're capable. You're chosen for a reason, and just show up and perform your best. I want to talk a little bit about this Vimana pick. I think it was definitely valued in some of the SPL playing games. That being said, I don't think it's that good. I don't value it personally that much. I don't think it performed particularly well. I think it's definitely counterable, but maybe it'll be proven wrong, and we'll see some big baby action here in season 2.
I think the key, and granted, this could be said for any character in the game. I think the key is keeping the Vamana ahead and letting Vamana be able to get that farm online so that your Vamana is rotating in the fights before the enemy solo lane. And Flippin' Ninjas has the ability to do that on Thor. So if we see Almond Butter, or excuse me, if we see Frostech get ahead in the solo lane, this could end up being it could be a good spot to be in for Vamana, but to your point, the play-ins was rough for Vamana. A lot of it could be attributed to builds, in my opinion. A lot of times we saw them foregoing the Golden Blade, and they'd fall behind in just farming their wave. So there's lots of room for improvement there, but we do have an Ishtar getting locked in. So I find myself now wondering, is that an Oleron mid, or is it an Ishtar mid? Which would you prefer to see here?
Probably Oleron in mid. I think both are fine. I don't know. I think I'd actually probably still rather see Oleron in solo. We saw Ishtar in mid in season 9 a lot, but I think mages are just a little bit better overall in general. But it's definitely either or. I don't think it makes too big of an impact overall.
Hmm.
Maybe a little bit in the early game, come mid to late, players start rotating in. I think it'll be more or less the same either way.
Cabrakan being locked in, no doubt, for the solo lane. That is something that we have not seen a whole ton of. It's definitely been picked up, but not a priority. Excited to see that go against Vamana. It's an interesting matchup. And, I think I'm going to say I'd like to see Oleron. I mean, I could be torn either way. I'd like to see Oleron go mid, because Sanctified Field is a nice counter against Thor. If Hammer of Anvil's coming down on top of you, drop the 40% slow, you are good to go, safe as can be. But we do have our last selection in. It was the Rama going to Voltcha, so no more waiting for us. It's time to get into the Divine Division. We'll see you in game.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it. Now you're gone.
These guys have been waiting quite a while, and honestly, so have I. I love watching these games, so let's not waste any time. Let's kill these jungle buffs. Let's do it! Cosmic Warrior is still with me. I am, once again, Anthony Malum. Cosmic, we're watching the jungle side start here, and the picks kind of went where we expected. We talked about the Oleron mid, but talk to me about what you're looking for in these early laning phases.
Well, just no matter where you are on the map, I mean, it's just pressure, pressure, pressure. Kind of has always been the big thing. I think Agni, as far as laning is concerned, a little bit better off than Oleron. Come around level 5 or so, definitely those bombs going to be absolutely devious when it comes to just pressuring out waves, pressuring poke wise. But maybe level 2, level 3, before it hits 5, we'll see Oleron in the driver's seat for a couple minutes for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to matter a lot. You cannot let this Agni kind of outpace you on the Oleron. You've got to get to your damage as quickly as you can possibly handle. And I think that's going to be the goal here from Evan. We do have a bit of a sign of a gank here in duo. Flippin' Ninja showing up early on the Thor, and Cactus is quite pushed up with Koala. There's the Thor. Wall has separated Koala from Cactus. Would this be the first kill? Boy, do I want to know. Dash in from Voltcha, and Flippin' Ninjas gets the first kill of this set. It is going to the Thor, and that's a dangerous sight to see. Giant Dog here on the return, but here a bit too late to make any significant difference. Ninja's going to secure the shield buff. And without me even having time to talk, nope, not quite. Almost a solo kill for Ragemore, but Frostech gets away just barely. Now Flippin' Ninjas and Giant Dog in a fight in the jungle, but Giant Dog not going to follow in. That's tough. A more aggro player than me would have gone in there. Cosmic, walk me through what you saw in all these fights early on.
Pushing up in the duo lane in Season 10 is so risky because it's just so easy for the jungle to just walk over and gank you. It's nearly impossible to punish. You're very likely to die. It's just a rough time. You have to be very confident. You have to know where the jungle is. You need really good communication or deep wars, which really just aren't going to be up at this stage of the game. People aren't buying vision shard. Actually, okay, I say that, but Cactus does have a vision shard. Despite this, oh my goodness, my tangent has just
Your tangent goes over the death of Evan on the Oleron. Flippin' Ninja has another kill on the Thor. Not what you want to see.
Certainly not. You don't want to fight fed
They're
jungle.
still fighting. Giant Dog next on the chopping block. Killing spree for the Thor. That's 3 kills on one of the characters who, if you asked any Smite player, who is one of the scariest characters to get the first kill, let alone the first 3 on, Thor is going to come up 9 times out of 10. So that's a tough spot for Sunbreakers early on here.
3 kills in 3 minutes. And definitely not the position that you want to be in if you are the Sunbreakers. And one thing I want to mention, you had brought up how Oleron might be good in mid just because of the matchup into Thor. Anvil of Dawn just dropped that Sanctified Fields. The only issue with that is Thor is really one of the junglers you don't really need to build Blink on. You can get away with it a lot of times. Some other guys you might think of like Tsukiyomi, and as you can see, he does indeed build the beads. So definitely a little rough in that aspect. I can see the idea, and anytime the beads are down, of course, definitely going to get a lot of value out of it. But ooh, CACTUSARMS though, getting very
Falling low. Shell comes out. Landfall gets the kill. Almondbutter new to the team, new to the kill chart. First kill for the duo lane, and this time it goes to Maui.
Dude, Landfall does a sneaky amount of damage. The amount of times I've just straight up died outright to the damage of Landfall has been surprising.
I
Usually
think we're
you think
set up for a hammer here. Cosmic Flippin' Ninjas to the sky. Gonna land down on top of Ragemore. Will he kill him in time? Yes, he does. Frostech is saved from his jungler. Even gets credit for the kill. That's the kind of jungle performance you need if you are a Vamana.
Definitely. That's the kind of thing that makes you slam on your keyboard if you are a solo laner. Just nearly getting the solo kill, being absolutely out pressuring them in the lane just for the jungler, stinky jungler to come over and ruin your day. I want to mention Flippin' Ninjas decided to pick the green buff over the yellow buff. Interesting tech. Wait. Okay, no, the UI is lying.
I think he got I think we got baited a little bit.
Wow.
I see what you're talking about. It shows up on the side there in his name that he has the green buff. But no, that did pick up the speed buff, and we're being lied to by the good old spectator client.
I wonder if it's has something to do with the CDR buff he picked up, or if it's shield. I can't really tell. Evan
Sanctified
dropping
Field
low.
comes out. CACTUSARMS secures the kill onto the Thor. There's a Sanctified defense. Nicely played by EvanTGW.
Very true. Beads also burnt by Thor, so definitely going to see a lot of value out of that possibly again if Thor ever tries to come in on Evan. So yeah, definitely seeing the interaction that you had mentioned that I kind of undermined, but you're definitely right in that regard.
It really depends on the moment. I mean, it depends on the situation. And like you said, the beads could be a big factor in that. We do have a gank in mid, but Sasano's kind of taking the high angle. We'll see if he can get the Z-Tan in time. Typhoon comes out, gonna miss the knock-up entirely. Giant Dog could not quite find the positioning in time, and ZTantalus is safe, but Flippin' Ninja's going up in the sky. Landfall on the Cactus! Will the hammer follow? Yes, it does! CACTUSARMS dropping low quick, and Voltcha snipes from the side. They wanted Sylvanas dead, and the kill goes to the Rama, which could prove to be pretty useful for the duo lane.
3 ults, definitely. I don't think he needed that Rama ult, bro. Just absolutely wanted that, yoinked it. But I mean, Thor doesn't need another kill. I'm sure ZTantalus wouldn't have minded it, but I mean, just good awareness overall. Good rotation. You love to see early rotations, impactful rotations from the ADC. Definitely a display of what is to come when we're talking about objectives in the very near future. So yeah.
Oh, pull in on almondbutter from CACTUSARMS, but Evan doesn't quite have the damage, and Sasano is not around. You know, I'm not afraid to admit that I've done that a time or two on Rama myself. Sometimes you just want to get those kills, get that gold online early. You know, level 1 in your ultimate, it's only doing 190 damage plus 50, I think it's 55% of your physical power. So it's not too much damage, but it's enough to get a kill, and if it gets you ahead of an Ishtar and gives you some pressure in the lane, could prove to be useful. CACTUSARMS gets pulled in by almondbutter, but the Thor wall is no good. Up, down, on top of CACTUSARMS, dropping low quick. Gotta play it safe as Sylvanas. Z-Tan, though, not there in time. CACTUSARMS gets to walk away. Sylvanas being pressured like crazy today.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I want to talk about the difference in support starters. We see Sylvanas, we see CACTUSARMS going the Benevolence, whereas Almond Butter opting for the Watcher's Gift. Um, I think Benevolence is better just because the heroism upgrade, the recently added heroism upgrade, is just so good. It's so good. It's like a massive shield like every 10-15 seconds on any CC. It's absolutely insane. You get it at level 15. It was considerably better than Hero's Axe. So we see
And the
Flippin'
hammer on a Ragemore, falling quick. Kabrakan cannot catch a break. Maybe blame the Loki skin. The attention's on you in the soul lane. Gold Fury being pulled in response. Smart here from Sunbreaker. Sanctified Field comes out. Landfall looking, pulls in 3. Rama snipes up in the air, but Sunbreakers gets a secure in the Gold Fury. KoalaMang might fall down. Almond Butter goes over CACTUSARMS, though, and that's going to be enough for Koala to get away. I doubt the Sylvanas will be so lucky. Gets pulled in. Z-Tan going to get the kill. If not, Voltcha. CACTUSARMS falls down to Voltcha. But overall, they get the Fury and a nice response to the gank in solo.
Certainly worth overall, I think, for Sunbreakers specifically, talking about that fight on the Gold Fury, support for the Gold Fury, definitely worth in my book. Evan, however, maybe overstepping a little bit, getting a lot of damage out, but is able to retreat safely under his tower, and he's going to back off.
You know, going off your point of heroism, it really is a nasty item right now. You get a shield equal to 15% of your maximum health as a support. It's so underrated. It's so disgusting. I can't remember the last time I built Watcher's Gift. And I kind of, you know, even on characters where you could argue it isn't the better item, I'm obsessed with the shield. I like it. And the combination ends up being quite gross.
Yeah, it is called Sentinels now. I usually call it that. I honestly,
You baited me.
It was called Watchers for so long. I say that like that's why I called it that now. I just couldn't remember the other name, and I just remember hearing other people call it Watchers.
Frostech getting ganked here by Giant Dog. CACTUSARMS here as well. Ragemore pretty low. Frostech into Big Baby. I don't think they've got this kill as in the bag as they might have thought. Big Baby keeping Frostech safe for now. That's not what you want on the 2-man rotation to solo lane.
No, definitely not. It's definitely hard. The one thing Vamana has going for them is that as long as his ult's up and you don't have like an Ankh or something, he's just really not going to die. An Ankh is actually less effective against him now. They changed it to where he gets a lot of shield and life steal as opposed to just pure healing. Obviously, Ankh does reduce the shields a little bit, but you know, not as drastically as something say like a Sunder. Definitely would be very effective. killing it. But until that point, you just take the bait in the ult, maybe go for it another time. But that's just all you can really get.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw a bit of a trade there between Giant Dog and Almond Butter. Not a lot of damage was put out, but Giant Dog still hanging out, Almond Butter as well. And now Almond may have overstayed his welcome. Falling low, does have the getaway. Flippin' Ninja's coming in for the defense. Up, down on 2. Flippin', though, turns his attention to Evan and lands down on top of the Oleron. Beads come out, and Sanctified Field follows. 4 members will bring down Almond Butter, but there's 3 full health red team members from Flourish, so I think Sunbreakers just has to back off.
Yeah, 3 ultimates committed by Sunbreakers. Definitely not a fight they want to stay in much longer, and they are able to safely retreat. We see Ragemore going. We've seen like a lot of this Guardian solo building Tablet of Destiny's first item. I think it's really good. We see him going it alongside the Axe. Definitely very, very strong in the laning phase as well as into the mid to late. Diving the backline can be very, very devastating with a fully stacked tablet on a very, very tanky god. We haven't seen so much
Pyro. Who's going to get the Pyro? It's Flourish. It was close. I thought for a second Evan would have a shot at it, but Pyro goes the way of Flourish.
We haven't seen so much Krabraken, so we have like maybe when we saw Claw, the Bancroft's Claw being super, super OP, but I think it's definitely an option here. It's being a little bit rough for Rage, but I think that's mostly due to Flippin' Ninja's extremely strong map presence. So we see big engagement here in mid.
CACTUSARMS is going to use Ardent Growth to try to take everybody up into the sky, but there just wasn't any return damage from his team. Yeah, I like what you're saying. And while you were talking, I was getting this image in my head of Sundering Axe, Tablet of Destiny, Seismic Crush into Refraction, Tectonic Shift into Tremors, and I think I'm not as emotionally stable as I was before the cast. So thanks for putting all of that into my head.
Right, that's how I determine how successful a Discord call has been. If I make people
up into the sky goes Thor, looking for CACTUSARMS again. Tail as old as time. Flippin' Ninjas has another kill on the Thor. And that is a big pickup there for the Thor, doing quite a bit of damage onto Sylvanas. Might turn into an Oni Fury here. I don't even think this is going to be contested. Evan's going to get there, but it's already at half health. Evan coming around the side. Does ward, so he knows how much health is there. Giant Dog with Evan, and they let go of the Oni Fury. Pretty wise call there from Flourish.
Yeah, definitely, we got some low health bars. Almond Butter not really able to be that frontline presence that they really need. And now, Sunbreakers taking the opportunity. It does look like Voltcha spots it. He goes up into the air.
Oh, he's in the air.
Steal this.
Here come the shots. Sunbreakers gets a secure. Oh, honestly, I'm going to call it a lucky break. That was a 50-50. Voltcha shots, they were on time, perfect there for the steal. Just didn't get that last little tick of damage. It's a tough break for the Rama, but risky call from Sunbreakers does work out in their favor, though, and brings them a bit closer in gold. 7 kill difference with only 2,000 gold. That's not the worst place to be in.
Yeah, that's definitely like the rough thing about, deciding to go for objective, realizing you can't really take it, you have to back off. Makes the absolute perfect opportunity for the other team to go in as you're backing off. Obviously, there's a reason you're backing off. You can't really step up to go for it. So it's basically just a green light for the other team to try and take it. So I think that was just good awareness by Sunbreakers, knowing that they're backing off for a reason. Was pretty risky with Rama ult. The amount of times I'm thinking no one's contesting this Gold Fury just for a Rama ult to steal it away has been one too many times that I'd like to admit. So, good play by the Sunbreakers, good attempt by Flourish.
CACTUSARMS has fallen down below half health, and if you look at the bottom right of the map, you can see Flippin' Ninjas is hanging out. Gonna look for a red buff steal now, considering the ultimate, just looking to see if there's an opportunity. There is not yet. Giant Dog hanging around the side by Oracles. This could turn into a team fight. They could go their separate ways, could go one way or the other. Looks like it might be calm for now, but Flippin' still hanging out in the back by red buff. Giant Dog backing up now just a bit, and Cactus is falling low and quickly, and we've got a rotation from the solo lane. Frostech is on the way. Giant Dog finds Almond Butter, does not too much damage to the support. Frostech goes in, Landfall brings in Evan. Aegis follows, Beach should come too. There it is, Verdant Growth up, Rain of Fire into the anvil! That found 3! Sanctified Fields comes up too little too late, and everybody's low for Sunbreakers. Ragemore trying to make a difference in the back, but Voltcha secures Giant Dog with the snipes. Rama snipes coming through again, picking up the big kill for the ADC. KoalaMang does find ZTan under the tower low, but now KoalaMang is caught in between 3 members. Ragemore going to try to get his ADC out of there, but he's being chased down, up, down, on top. Beads comes out. Frostech still chasing. Koala has nothing in response, just the Aussie passive, and it does work, but not quite enough, as Frostech gets the kill on the Koala.
You know, I gotta say, Frostech is doing a lot more on this Vamana than I had really expected to. Going very well overall. A lot of impact. Really, really great rotation by Frost. Diving the tower, picking up the kill on Evan, securing that when it looked like he escaped by the skin of his teeth, but when a giant baby is under your tower with a fat shield flomping you on your head, you're just not getting away, unfortunately. So, great rotation by Frostech, and overall, really, really great plays by Flourish. Evan's beads might have been a little bit late, and ultimately gets punished for that, but I mean, that's just, in these Divine games, little mistakes like that ultimately can determine game.
For sure, and something that Flippin did that I want to bring attention to is we saw a lot of kills early, and then Thor kind of took some time, farmed the jungle, made the golden experience lead even bigger without necessarily going around the map and getting kill after kill. And now, with 5 kills, 2 levels ahead on his opponent, going to the sky, gonna look for 2. Landfall brings in 2. Hammer gonna find 2. This could be a double kill. It's going to... No, only 1. CACTUSARMS gets to walk away? Shouldn't be for long. They might dive this, or CACTUSARMS might be safe. I'm kind of in shock. Sylvanas can walk away for now. Giant Dog going aggressive on almondbutter. Tower falls. Rain of fire on the CACTUSARMS. There we go. Burn the tree down. CACTUSARMS did not survive that long. Longer than I thought, though. So credit to CACTUSARMS, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Those just, again, as I was saying, you know, these guys just stepping up, trying to clear their wave, happen to not have their beats up, get 2-man landfalled into a Thor ult from their own jungle, and they just get 2-man wiped. And it's just...
Snipes come out. Typhoon was a little late for the gold steal, but the last shot does not hit. Not sure if it would have gotten a kill anyway. Giant Dog gets to live another day.
I don't know, maybe 3 items online. Last one hurts the most.
It would have been close.
Potential definitely would have been. Fortunately for Giant Dog, he gets to walk away with his life, not doing as hot as you really want Sun to be right about now.
Rotation coming over to Ragemore to help out against Frostech. Evan's here. Level 17 Frostech on the big baby now. Lifesteal coming through. Not too much. Doing damage. Sanctified Field comes out. Frostech's holding his own. Still alive. CACTUSARMS coming around there. It's a tectonic shift. There's the Tremors. Evan finds the kill on the Frostech. For a second there, I thought there might be a world where Frostech killed one of them.
It's definitely close. You know, again, as I was saying, it's definitely can be a complete fight changer, specifically for himself in that big Vamana ult. Definitely got very close. Ooh!
Oh, wow.
Well-timed Thor wall.
That was a fantastic Thor wall. We'll see what it sets up for as the team is rotated over. Voltcha gets Typhoon pretty quickly, but look at the damage from the Agni. Hammer off the mark for the first time, but it's not going to stop CACTUSARMS from falling down to flipping ninjas. Giant Dog quite lucky to get away from this fight after the well-timed rain of fire there from the Agni.
Yeah, it's not looking too hard for Sunbreakers. They you know, were able to find us a pick on the Frostech, very nice. So they just were not able to follow it up with anything. And I think right now, as far behind as you are, them having 4 times your kills, you just really need to find the small windows, take the wins where you can, back off when you realize that you have to, because you're just not going to be able to do much, given how far ahead they are. Frostech might go down again, but he finishes off way before he does. Oh my god.
That was close, and Frostech managed to pull it out of a hat. Ragemore overstepped just a bit too much, looking for the steal. Fire Giant went the way of Flourish. They did lose their solo laner. Now we've got a fight breaking out by the blue buff. Voltcha's dealing out numbers, but positioning a bit weird here for Flippin' Ninjas. Cactus stuck between a wall again. Gonna fall down to ZTan, make it a killing spree for the Agni. Flippin' Ninja's very low. Giant Dog on top of him, but you can't get away from the rain fire. Now the hammer comes out, looking for Koala, tries to backstep it. It works, but the double tap hits home. I will give credit where credit's due to the backstep, but regardless, it's a deicide for Team Flourish.
Deicide and 4 members of Flourish still with the Fire Giant. This is their game. At this point, I'm looking at tier 2, so we're looking at Phoenixes. Flourish have this absolutely in their hands. They can definitely force fights under Phoenix. I think they're very capable of. Unfortunately, Frostech, who would be very, very useful in these frontline sieges, does not have the Fire Giant buff. He will have his ult up very soon, though. But with this about 7.5k gold lead, 4 members of Fire Giant, this is absolutely an opportunity they need to take. They get the Pyro. They have 2 runic bombs online. I honestly think it's best to just save them for the Phoenix as opposed to, perhaps using them on the tier 2. I think Voltcha is more than capable of shutting down a tier 2, and I don't even think it's worth for Sunbreakers to try and defend a tier 2. Because very likely they just end up getting wiped, potentially lose the Phoenix for free, maybe even the Titan if they just try to step up. Looking for
step it up a bit here at the purple buff. Flippin' Ninja's gonna go up into the sky and look for the hammer, potentially on the Giant Dog. It lands, and Giant Dog has been deleted. Koala will be soon to follow, but there's this good shell from CACTUSARMS trying to keep the ADC alive, but the rain fire over the wall. Rampage for ZTan, 5-man knockup from CACTUSARMS. Wants to get on a highlight reel, no matter the score. Huge ultimate. Tier 2 tower surely will fall here soon. I think Cosmic said it best. Time to pull the troops back, go to the keep, defend at home, and try to stall this game out. Not sure what defending this tier 2 can get you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're seeing the weakness in this all-around mid pick. I think certain gods, Morgan Le Fay, even your Agony a ZTant pick. The Tiamat that Sunbreakers banned away. Obviously, Merlin was banned in the first round, so they couldn't pick that. It's really, really showing here because the beauty of those gods is even when you're losing, they can really, really shine. Sometimes, especially, just having them have to walk into you under your very, very high damaging towers and Phoenixes is where they really, really excel. You have the capability of getting 3, 4, 5-man kills as these mages that do so well with these proccing abilities, and Oleron is just not one of those gods.
For sure. Going back to the fight, I said it mid-fight, but I want to give credit where credit's due. CACTUSARMS with the 5-man Wrath of Terra was just disgusting. There's a world where if there's enough follow-up damage there, that could have been a game-altering fight. Just wasn't quite enough follow-up. It kind of goes with what you're saying with the Oleron. The build here, it's a bit spread between attack speed and mage, which would have been a bit better suited for the ADC role, potentially not mid. Sunbreakers could be caught out here. Flourish sees them. Up into the sky, goes Flippin' Ninjas. Giant Dog's on the speed buff, but Flippin' Ninjas hits 2 to the left by the red buff. Evan falls low. Unstoppable is Flippin' Ninjas. Sanctified Field came out. Landfall brings Cactus back closer. 40% slower. 40% deader for CACTUSARMS. Oh, he's alive again. Cactus is interrupting me. He's messing up my calls. He is making nasty plays. CACTUSARMS will not let Sunbreakers go down, and I'm so impressed by it consistently. The small things will matter, especially if this is how you're playing in game 1 of your season. CACTUSARMS might be a support to watch.
For sure. Maybe if Malio could pull people over environmental walls.
You watch your mouth.
CACTUSARMS dies.
I'm not going to let you spill that blasphemy on this cast. Ragemore could be caught out, falling a bit behind his team. CACTUSARMS being here, I'm pretty sure Rage is safe if this game has been telling of anything. But Flourish is 5-man grouped and ready for the Phoenix Siege. Sunbreakers will need a miracle to defend this. Here comes Big Baby. Typhoon comes out, going to knock up just Ninjas. Up, down from almondbutter. Somebody stuck in there. It's Cactus. Ragemore falls down to Voltcha. Phoenix falls as well. Only person low is Frostech, and Voltcha diving in deep, doing numbers to Evan. Koala gets caught out. Big hammer on the 2. We got a double-double. Divine. We've got deicides, accolades all over the place, but the most important one, if you're Flourish, you get the victory in game 1 of this set.
What an absolute clinic we saw Flippin' Ninja perform. 12, 1, and 12 on the Thor is absolutely insane. I mean, we saw Voltcha as well. 5 and 0, didn't die ever. Very, very incredible performance. A very, very convincing performance by Flourish. I mean, I think that was just a clear cut victory at all stages of the game, from that very first Thor gank to the mid lane fights to the solo lane ganks. I mean, Flourish was just absolutely in control at all times in that, and I think it was just very convincing.
It really was. Everything was clicking from the jungle, solo, almond butter. We talked a bit in the beginning. Almond butter has been on this team for a day and put out a performance like that in support. Really set things up for everybody and went absolutely ballistic. The landfalls were crazy. We saw 3-man, 2-man landfalls pretty consistently. The damage from Voltcha was very impressive in the ADC role, and ZTan is playing basically with one hand after getting injured before this game. I mean, the storylines here for Flourish are crazy. Not to take it too much away from Sunbreakers, there were some very good moments that they can really highlight, especially when they watch this back and go over it as a team. But realistically, Flourish in this game, just everything was clicking, and I'm curious if we'll see more of it. We'll talk more about it in the P's and B's of game number 2, but for now, we'll leave you here. We'll be right back on the Smite Draft League.
Jumping out the plane, you had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place, used to think we're getting close and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it. Now you don't.
Game 1 was a story of everything clicking on every cylinder. What will the story of Game 2 be? I'm Anthony Malum. I've got Cosmic Warrior with me, and we're back here with Game number 2 of Divine Division, Flourish v Sunbreakers. Cosmic, talk to me a bit more about what we saw in Game number 1 as we see the bands coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. Flourish just absolutely running around Sunbreakers. I think we can see some very significant improvements right here in the picks and bans from Sunbreakers. I think first step, obviously, banning the Thor. It's really easy to, see someone do well on a god and just say, oh, just, ban the god, ban the god. But, it doesn't always capture like the full picture. You don't always want to ban specific god just because they do good.
Plus, what could it open up?
It's true, but I think there it definitely reigns true here. I mean, 12, 1, and 12 on the Thor was absolutely insane. And not only just what the other team drafted, but what your team drafted. I don't think the Oleron mid was very good. I think you could maybe keep the Oleron, place it in the dual lane where he absolutely belongs. But I felt like there were many times in that game where it's like, wow, what would a Tiamat do here? What would a Morgan Le Fay do here? What would these highly meta mage gods who use these procking items really well, whether it was, the 5-man knockup that CACTUSARMS got, or just the Phoenix Siege in general. So I think there are definitely improvements to be made.
Call me a psycho, but I'd almost rather go against flipping on the Thor than the Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang is a character that just kind of scares me down to my core with the amount of damage that we're seeing. I mean, the amount of damage that comes out from Dragon Call, Wildstorm is just uncalled for in almost every situation. I'm frightened to see what Ao Kuang might do this game. We do see that Maui is being taken away from Almond Butter. So if we're going banning it out and picking it for themselves, I like the Maui first pick because I feel like Maui is a character that can easily set the tone for your team. I mean, obviously there's characters to prioritize first, but if you feel like you need to take it away from somebody, unlike some other supports, Maui is a character where it's okay to take it first pick.
For sure. Maui's so so insane. Landfall is such a good ultimate. It's really, really hard not to be super impactful and look good and flashy doing it. I mean, just the scale of the knockup, the amount of people you can pull in, and the impact it has on the team fights and the game overall is just absolutely nothing to be understated. We saw it getting banned, getting first, second picked in the SPL play-in tournament, and for very, very good reasons.
Absolutely. I like the Kakolin pickup here. I feel like Kakolin is a character that plays very well off of having. I mean, obviously every character can do this, but when a Kakolin is playing around an assassin that can go in and blow you out, but I'm aware Ao Kuang's a mage, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
When Kakolin
jungler.
can go in and really set up for your jungle to go crazy like that, and they can actually capitalize on what Kakolin's doing, it can really create for a nasty comp. And Ao Kuang thrives on having that protection while he dives in. So this is a really good pairing. And the Agni being run back here for Ztan, we know that Ztan has queued with Nooblet a bit, but it is showing up for this set, going the Agni 2 times in a row. it's it's looking like a ranked game out here in that department.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was watching Captain Twig stream earlier, and he queued into Nublet and Z10, and Z10 was playing the Agni. He, maybe we didn't mention it as much, but he went 7-1 on that Agni, definitely doing tons of damage, definitely a big impact. But on the other side, I see something I love to see, and that is like a mage that deals damage with his abilities. Tiamat, definitely prefer to see that. Definitely one of the more impactful mages up there with the Merlin. Obviously, so high priority is banned out in the first round. Happy to see that. I think it was a necessary change. I think it's gonna be a big impact in all stages of the game.
For sure. I think Tiamat will play in well with how Sunbreakers played the first game. You could definitely see they played a bit more passive. They're still feeling things out and getting used to what they're doing. And I think Tiamat is much more forgiving with that playstyle. I mean, you can sit in the back line and, drag your knuckle across your buttons and probably deal 40k damage as Tiamat. And I think that'll really fit nicely with Sunbreakers' overall team play.
Here's the thing: I've seen Kingfisher go absolutely ham on Tiamat.
Oh, that should tell you all you need to know.
That tells you absolutely everything you need to know about that god. Certified Mickey guy just from that alone. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Fisher. Ooh, the Chernobog lock-in. Honestly, I feel like Chernobog has been a very heavily underrated god for most of season 9. Obviously, coming into season 10, it's just completely outshined by mage ADCs, but I think he has really, really good damage. He has good ability damage that you really like don't need ability items to do a lot of damage on. Definitely benefits extremely well from attack speed with the passive and the increased attack speed on this too. I think Chernobog is a sleeper pick here.
You sound like me on that last cast of Scouting Grounds I did with Jeffrey. I was talking about Ho Yi in the same sense, and how I feel like hunters aren't in the best place in by some opinions. My thing is, I don't think hunters are bad right now because I can already hear the solo main screaming, "Oh, a hunter can kill you in 5 autos." I think assassins and mages are just so good between assassin damage, just purely Tablet of Destinies, what it brings to mages right now. Mage ADCs are so strong early in the game. I don't think the hunters are bad. I think that everything else is just so good that hunters can't fully compete. Kurnanos is a character who obviously can compete, and I think Chernobog and Ho Yi, while not being anywhere near S tier, maybe even A tier, there's things in their kit that can definitely let them succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. The built-in penetration they have on Cernunnos 1 and just overall damage output is very, very good. I mean, Cernunnos was one of the best hunters in season 9, outshined only by Ishtar herself. And yeah, I think you said it best. I mean, that's kind of like how I've really been feeling myself is just that everything is just kind of better than hunters. Hunters aren't necessarily bad in and of themselves. We did see a nice buff to kin size recently, an extra percent damage. Might not seem like a lot, but in late game scaling off the health, supports getting 3,000-4,000 HP definitely can make a difference.
The final pick coming out was a Neja going into the solo lane, which means we'll have a very tanky Neja, which I played a bunch, but I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. But we'll leave those discussions for game number 2. We'll be right back on the Smite Draft League with more action.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? 'Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself 'cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes, I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place, used to think we're getting close and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it.
Hello and welcome back to the Smite Draft League. Flourish is on your order side. They've got a new member. They got a broken hand, an Alquang, and a dream. Chaos side, we got Sunbreakers looking to change the narrative and force a game number 3. I'm Anthony Malum. Got Cosmic Warrior with me. Let's do it.
I think this is a really interesting solo matchup. Naja solo, not really something you see too often, especially in high levels of competitive play at all. You had mentioned how we're going to see a tanky Naja. So right now, Naja is completely full damage to Bluestone, into the Morningstar, likely going into the Transcendence, going up against the KoalaMang, who also Bluestone, into the Spiked Gauntlet, going probably into the Soul Eater. So it's definitely going to be interesting here. I mean, obviously, KoalaMang just has warrior stats, has the Rage passive, gives him a little bit of shield whenever he transforms. So I think overall survivability definitely in Frostech's favor. And I don't think Naja's lane is particularly that good. So it's definitely going to be rough. But we do see Frostech getting a little bit low here, as, the exact opposite of what I say happening is happening.
Yeah, very low. And, a lot of it can be attributed to going Bluestone. My only thing that concerns me going that damage start is the risk of changing your build mid-game and going tankier, and that is never the way to go. We do have the junglers running into each other on the dual lane side. AGiantDog, Flippin' Ninjas both here looking to make some plays, but they kind of got here at awkward times, and now they're both just stepping away. And now they're looking to re-engage. Now they're stepping away. Flippin' Ninjas went to the shield buff. Giant Dog now contesting. Ninjas is going to be the one to secure it with a really nice illusion there to secure the shield buff. And everybody's full health in the dual lane off of this. Now the fight breaks out. I think it's time to walk away from this fight.
Yeah, definitely an interesting interaction. I think it was good that Flippin' Ninjas went for that because whenever he came over, he was level 2. He got level 3 off the minis, and Giant Dog was already level 3. So you don't really want to fight into it. Obviously, just able to secure that shield buff doesn't really turn into anything more. So we see.
Play it safe, Frostech.
Oh my god.
Ragemore looking for the first solo kill from Divine and finds it with the ricochet off the Bastion. What a mechanic. We love the tech against Frostech.
I forgot how Bastions, the addition of Bastion was actually a Najah buff because, as we just saw,
Zeus
like
too.
he might have lived if the Bastions weren't there. No joke. Like, I mean, just very well played by Ragemore. Good understanding. And I mean, yeah, Frostech just got solo despite me saying that I think the matchup is favorable for him. And more Bastion tech. This was a Giant Dog teleporting to it with his little monkey bounce.
I love some Bastion tech. It's so clean. It does work. Almond Butter pushed up with not a lot of mana, so they're going to step back behind minions. Dual lane fizzling out, but there's always the risk. Voltcha going through shifting seasons, already has it online for the lifesteal. Gets pulled in from Cactus. Almond going to look for the separation. Koala no good on his abilities. They're playing really aggressive here. Almond Butter going to be able to sneak away at quarter health. That got way more aggressive, way quicker than I expected when we first peeped over.
So is almond butter, is that just like butter made from almond milk? I was trying to think about it. I like the name, but I don't really know. I don't think you can make butter from almond milk, right? 'Cause it's not really milk, like milk you just shake up.
Dash in from Voltcha, interrupting Cosmic's moment in the stars. Now Almond Butter falling low. CACTUSARMS gonna look for the secure, but gets cut off from Voltcha on the route. Now Voltcha body blocking. Who's the support now? It's Voltcha and doing numbers to CACTUSARMS. Almond Butter still there, supporting from afar. And Voltcha got his support out there. Really nice play from the ADC. Giant Dog looking for the rotation. Coming slowly from around the back. Almond Butter might push up too far, but Flippin' Ninjas is also rotating. And they're going to run into each other by the purple camp. And Flippin' Ninjas has ultimate, which is going to be huge here. Big damage coming out quickly. In execute range, just needs the slow. Hits the slow. Doesn't even need the execute. Needs one basic. Going to use it anyway. It gets Purification Beads. Polymorph no good. Wild Hunt will not get the kill. Flippin' Ninjas will get the kill on a Giant Dog. Took a bit more work than they expected, but overall, the cleanup was there from Flourish.
Yeah, I think at that point, Giant Dog just... Ooh. Okay, here we go. I
thought it was a return solo kill, but Neisha's safe for now.
Yeah, for sure. I think at that point, Giant Dog maybe just lets himself get executed because now your beats are down.
Neisha went back in
against the Ao Kuang.
Oh, the solo lane's stressing me out, Cosmic.
It's all right. He's playing safe. He's just kind of not wanting to get zoned away from his own wave, but obviously still very risky. Not too much of an escape available other than
this is not a Jeffrey solo lane.
No Netflixes are being played in the background.
Getting pinged out. Frostech going under the... Oh no! Windfire Wheels was off the mark, and Frostech gets the return solo. It's an even 1-for-1 in the solo lane. Cactus and Giant Dog are both here, but with the level disadvantage, I don't think they should really push this too far. We did see a nice Spear of Mortal Pain come out, and that will be enough for Frostech to get away.
Yeah, unfortunate. Missing your sash and your ult is not how you really want to be playing Najah, in my opinion. One thing I kind of forgot about this earlier in that dual lane fight.
Fear no evil onto Frostech. Good damage falling out.
Oh man.
Giant Dog just needs to clean it up. 1, 2. There it is. Giant Dog gets a kill on the Frostech.
Very well played, but now people are closing in on the Giant Dog. He has no beads. Very susceptible from the CC from the Ganesha, and of course the Ao Kuang ult. You see it. He's buying time for his Ao Kuang to get over. Does so much damage just by himself, though.
He almost got the kill. Just not quite enough, and Flippin' Ninjas couldn't get there in time.
Unfortunate. Giant Dog still has 50 seconds on his beads. Definitely something I think Flippin' Ninja should be trying to take advantage of.
Very aggressive wild hunt there from Voltcha, looking to secure something on Koala, but it just was not quite there. And now CACTUSARMS just teasing with ZTan, only level 5. Doubt it's going to be anything too crazy here in the mid lane. A lot of action in duo, a lot of damage coming out on both ADCs. It's going to be close. Living Nightmare is not up for KoalaMang. They're chasing Giant Dog behind tier 2. Chaos across the map at the moment.
For sure, I think Flourish are definitely safe to doing this invade because I've been emphasizing so much. Giant Dog didn't have beads. He will be having it come up right about now, so he's definitely very vulnerable to any form of CC. Kwang execute. But
Things
now
coming out, warning Voltcha. Voltcha's still hanging out, though. Things must have been from the other side. Now Koala's going to look to aggress into darkness, trying to catch up the Voltcha. Purification beats early. And safe for now. Dive in from CACTUSARMS. Only level 5. Not that tanky. Tower doing damage. Voltcha might secure the kill. There's the landfall. Voltcha gets 1 kill onto CACTUSARMS. Giant Dog overhead slam. Misses. KoalaMang can't get the kill either. Dharmic Pillars. Flippin' Ninjas cleans up in duo. And they're going to chase down Giant Dog. Voltcha gets to back safely. And it's going to be 2 kills for Flippin' Ninjas. Just a matter of when. Oh, ZTan got it. Beads used. I'm fearing a weevil anyway. Point remains the same. Voltcha stays alive under the tower. Flourish rotates, and Flourish cleans house.
Okay, if CACTUSARMS just puts the island down, like you can press the button again and drop the island, Voltcha dies there. Voltcha dies there every single time. He died there because he was getting blocked off by his Maui ult. And that's what saved Voltcha 100% there. He would have been enraged for that overhead smash, but he couldn't have gotten in because that was in the way. Very, very unfortunate. Perhaps miscommunication. I don't know. Bad to say. I don't know.
Hook. Then the Master Fisherman misses on Flippin' Ninjas to try to stop the back. Things are just not clicking right now for Sunbreakers. We talked about it in game number 1, right? There's moments here of greatness, but there's just some synergy that just isn't quite there yet.
Certainly not. We do see Giant Dog with Jotuns online. Definitely love Jotuns on the monkey, just being able to get the Fear Knows Evils off as much as possible. Definitely the way you want to be going. And we're definitely not seeing Flourish being as potent as they were in game 1. I think Sunbreakers are having some really strong map control right now, flipping Ninjas into the air. Not sure
Wheels comes down, Water Illusion to escape, and Frostech with the cutoff. Nice play there from Shaq and Kobe to get the jungler away on the side of Flourish.
Yeah, they're able to secure their own blue buff. Almondbutter seeing a lot of poke here in the mid lane. Evan able to get some nice stacks on the tablet. He goes tablet first and Buck second. We see ZTant going the other direction with the Book of Thoth first, tablet to Destiny second. I think I prefer Book of Thoth first, honestly. Obviously, there's an argument for either one just because it's hard to get those stacks online in an early manner, but I think it's just more worth the Book of Thoth. The early penetration is super valuable. You're able to get the item stacked really early on, get some really nice MP5, and obviously a ton of mana as we see Flippin' Ninjas dropping very low. Gets out early. Oh, he
for
gets
how
chased.
long? Giant Dog found him. Dharmic Pillar safe for now. Landfall secures the kill. Giant Dog could not. Flippin' Ninjas falls down. CACTUSARMS has the credit. ZTan with the rainfire over the wall. Cleans up Giant Dog. Now almondbutter goes in. Finds CACTUSARMS. Dash in from ZTan. They're chasing down the dynamic duo with their own. It's close, but it's not quite enough. A lot of pressure in duo lane as well. We see KoalaMang had to fall under tower. Ultimate still up, safe for now. Duo lane. Almondbutter now the one taking damage. Ragemore taking a lot in solo. It's going to be close over there. Ragemore falling low, has to walk away. Fights in every single lane all at the same time, and all advantage Flourish.
One thing we noticed there, we saw Almondbutter dashing right through the landfall ultimate. That's something not a lot of people know. Ganesh's dash is literally called remove obstacles. He can just go right through player-made walls as if they don't exist. So good into the Maui, good against Ymir's, Thor's, player-made walls. So definitely an interesting matchup there. Honestly, I think SPL wise, Ganesha is definitely underrated. I think we've seen him, decent amount of times in SDL, so I think he's fairly properly rated. I mean, that silence can be just so obnoxious, can prevent some key abilities from going off. And I just really like Ganesha overall as we see him rolling up into a nice ball of yarn, sort of chilling in the mid lane.
We did see a gank attempt there from Flippin' Ninjas on to KoalaMang, but did not have to utilize anything to escape other than into darkness, so it worked out well. Now Giant Dog gonna run into Flippin' Ninjas, and Almond Butter's around the corner. Does have tower for safety, and it won't be more than any poke, but it was a lot of poke. And what concerns me, and what was nice about that rotation from Flippin' Ninjas, is look how pushed up Voltcha is now. Under tower, doing damage. Wild Hunt, falling low. Just not quite enough there for a kill. But that's what I was going to talk about. It allowed Voltcha to push up very aggressively and try to make a play underneath the tier 1 tower. We got a fight over by the Oracle. Flippin' Ninjas has eaten CACTUSARMS alive and going to come down on top of Giant Dog. We'll see if the storm is there. It's not quite there. Dash in from Voltcha, and Duo gets a solo kill on KoalaMang. Big kill, could not quite utilize the Living Nightmare to get away from Voltcha, and it's a death in the duo lane.
Very rough. So we see Frostech trying to push Rage more out of tower, not quite able to land it, deciding to degress a little bit. He's very, very aggressive. I think he has a slight XP lead. Yeah, he definitely has a complete level over him. Oh no!
Oh, Fear No Evil off the mark.
Oh no!
Frostech might be in a good position here to 1v2. Sash on top of Frostech. Frostech can probably aim for Giant Dog first. He does. He gets a kill on the Giant Dog. Try to get one on the Rage more. Needs one more basic to do it. Can he find the basic before he falls? Woo! No, he cannot. Rage more gets the kill on the Frostech. Almost a 1v2, but not quite.
Less than 50 HP on Rage more. Very, very well played by Frostech. I think if he has his ultimate up, that is an absolute 1v2. Very, very unfortunately placed Fear No Evil by Giant Dog, giving me some flashbacks to some Vinay New Krakens. But you see Flourish picking up the Pyromancer and just getting these. This is definitely a slower game than game 1, so these smaller objectives, these Pyromancers that you can get. Gold Fury dropped recently. Definitely very impactful. Pyromancer doesn't spawn as quickly as he used to. But hold that thought, because my goodness, what is going on here in mid lane? CACTUSARMS pulls in 2, but he gets dropped instantly. Beautiful Wild Hunt by Voltcha. Oh my goodness.
What can they follow up with? KoalaMang's here. Living Nightmare brought the ADC here, but he instantly had to into darkness out of there quickly. We do have a rotation from Rage More, which could set up, but the Sash is not quite good. The Ring Toss is, but there's just no follow-up without that Sash.
Yeah, I think Rage More has the capability of doing something here. Definitely can set up a lot with that Windfire Wheels, but Sunbreakers just not really in the best position. Flippin' Ninjas getting aggressive over here, completely out trading Rage More. He does not have
Fire Wheels away from the King of the Eastern Seas. A fun interaction there indeed. Now Flippin' Ninja stuck in the Fear No Evil. Giant Dog gets a kill, and the Flippin' Ninja's going to be a lot of gold there for the jungler on the side of Sunbreakers. But now he finds himself stuck between Voltcha and Almond Butter, but he's got backup there. Almond Butter falling low. ZTan around the corner with the Raid Fire. Doesn't do damage to anybody. That could have been a big game changer in the fight. ZTan gets pulled in. Almond Butter gets away. Sunbreakers can't find an opening to go in here, and Voltcha is healing up quick, so they're going to have to disperse. Tough break for Sunbreakers. That looks like that finally could have been a fight that could have gone their way.
Yeah, they are able to pick off Flippin' Ninjas, so definitely a W right there. Shutting down that Huang 3-2 right now. Has that Telkines online, which is just so strong. Now Frostech just engaging under Rage More. It's just not too great for Rage More. We do see him, going that birthday regrowth. I think it's really good on Shaw, even in the jungle. So I'm not surprised to see that one. That movement speed is so nice, but also just because there's a magical jungle and a physical solo laner, having to prioritize both sets of protections is just perhaps not perfectly ideal. Obviously, you're going to need it eventually anyway if you're going to be tanky for, of course, these mid laners, which just absolutely do devious amounts of damage. So, it's interesting. We saw, the interesting interaction, having to Windfire Wheels away.
Yeah, that was strange.
Definitely not one I've seen before. I've seen some strange interaction in that game. That is one to add to the list.
I guess it's because the CC immunity pushes Neja forward, while their CC immunity keeping Flippin' Ninjas in place. It's just a weird response. Big grouping in the mid lane. Giant Dog going around the side, trying to look to see if there's an opening in the back for a Fear No Evil. Not quite there yet, but now has a position for it. Finds it on the Z-Tan. Flippin' Ninjas in the meantime has killed Rageboard. Giant Dog now caught out. Wild Hunt off the mark. Dharmic Pillars right on target. Oh, into Nightmares, doing some damage, but not as much damage as King of the Eastern Seas. It's a double kill for Flippin' Ninjas. Big damage coming out. Tower gonna fall. AlmondButter doing great in defense. Flippin' Ninjas went to the speed buff to pick that up on the way out. CACTUSARMS taking big damage from the combo there from Z-Tan on the Agni. Evan doing some damage, but just can't quite find the safety. CACTUSARMS jumps into his death. Frostech has the kill onto the solo. Flippin' Ninjas is behind on the Ao Kuang. Then Koala just dashed. Tier 2 towers should fall here, and so will KoalaMang. It's a killing spree for Flippin' Ninjas. Sash brings Frostech in. They're pretty low here on both sides of the tower. Evan looking for 2 in the back. Rageboard looking for them in the front. Windfire Wheels brings Almond up, and that's a kill for the Neja. Looking for more. Voltcha does get the kill. Voltcha gets a double with the help of Aussie. Gonna look for a triple on Giant Dog with the help of Frostech. Dashes through the overhand slam, but there's not quite enough damage there for the triple, but enough to survive. And somehow, Flourish walks out of there with 4 members alive.
Yeah, now this game is just absolutely in Flourish's hand. They've garnered a significant gold lead. They're looking at this Fire Giant right now. Looks like they're going towards it. Going for the Pyro, maybe reset, and just go for the Fire Giant anyway. Some of the health bars maybe not quite so favorable for a Fire Siege. But definitely in the hands of Flourish right now, and I want to see them getting active with it. I have no doubt that they will. I mean, if game 1 is anything to go off of, we know that they're just going to get right in and go down to business and just really take advantage of the advantage that they're giving themselves.
Yeah, that's going to be the key here is you can't fumble a lead like this in a game 2. I mean, scouting round is over. We're in the season. These games matter. If you take a game 1 that cleanly and you come into game 2 and you're already building a lead like this, the key is to not worry about stat padding, not worry about anything other than winning the game. And you got to do that and get out of here.
Wait, I'm trolling.
You're trolling a little bit. Z-Tan secured
hello.
Primal Fury for them. Frostech knocks up 4, dashes away from landfall. They're turning on to Frostech, who's somehow still alive through most of it. Look at the health bars of Sunbreakers, all due to Frostech. Now the chase goes on. Z-Tan goes in the back, finds a couple. Big damage comes out in the front. Windfire Wheels takes up Z-Tan on the landing. Voltcha kills Koala. Z-Tan killed Ragemore. They're not in a great position. They're not in a good one either. CACTUSARMS cut off for a moment, but doesn't take too much damage. If Voltcha can't get back in there and does not have access to lifesteal. So Sunbreakers gets away, but they could not get fire. They couldn't get many kills off of it. Tough break. Giant Dog alive by the skin of his teeth. Gets away from rain fire there, and that should be enough for Flourish to walk away.
Yeah, interesting call from Flourish to go for the Gold Fury there instead of the Fire Giant. Luckily, Frostech was there to disrupt them, buy enough time for the rest of his team to get there. Does end up trading out his life, but I think Flourish could have just should have gone to the Fire Giant, potentially baited a fight going on to it. I mean, it was just a Gold Fury. It's not like it's an Oni Fury going to be crushing the wave, but obviously, I mean, they just got it, and no, luckily Frostech was able to stall for long enough. They were able to get over there, prevent them from taking it, and then take it themselves. So, still, again, just hard to go wrong at this point. I mean, Frostech just really showing us the power of Kokolin. Very strong god. A lot of great build options. Soul Eater, definitely one that comes to mind when it comes to, we saw him hitting a 4-man knockup. Definitely going to be giving himself a nice chunk of HP.
18-minute Fire Giant in game number 1, 20.5-minute Fire Giant in game number 2. There is a split push here from KoalaMang. I'm not sure how far he can get with this. He might get tier 2. Definitely can't get Phoenix. Flourish is far too healthy. Somebody will just back and defend. Looks like it's going to be Flippin', going to take a long way for the defense. They do get pushed up to Phoenix in the right lane. Might just look to clear off towers. Tier 2 might actually fall here. Koala's going to full commit for it. Flippin' Might get there in time. It's going to depend. Not action anywhere else, so Koala's just got to get away. Gonna go into Living Nightmares to try to get away, but has to go towards the team, and they were waiting for Koala, and Frostech cleans up the kill. Tier 2 tower for the ADC's life.
You see, that's the thing about Chernobog ult as an escape, is you're going towards the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, obviously...
It's called Living Nightmare for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, you're buying yourself some time in the sky, but... I mean, they just format grouped, and you had to come down somewhere. It almost seems like it would have been the best options to try and take the 1v1 flipping ninjas. That being said, trying to 1v1 a nearly full build Ao Kuang.
Yeah, also not the play. Tough spot to be in.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of deal. And now, Flourish with the player advantage and the Fire Giant buff. In a good spot, I think, to go for the Phoenix here. They're kind of doing an interesting dance around here in the jungle.
Yeah,
I think this is a weird mistake for Sunbreakers.
They should have
getting
probably...
caught out.
Wow. CACTUSARMS gets deleted by Flippin' Ninjas. Spiritual Evil, though, finds two.
Ooh.
And Flippin' Ninjas is gone. Ragemore gets credit for the kill and a lot of gold to go with it. Now they jump on top of Voltcha, who's looking for Koala, but falls down to a giant dog. Sunbreakers, this might be the comeback they need. They got to secure more than this, though. This is just buying time. Giant dog gets knocked away by Frostech. Frostech in front of Ragemore and Evan. Just a casual ring bounce. Nothing more than that. I'm sure Sunbreakers wanted more, but you know what? Getting those 2 kills, that's a lot of gold in pocket just from the kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was actually a big mistake by Flourish. At first I thought Sunbreakers were making a mistake, but Flourish just weren't really grouped up. They were definitely spread out and caught out. And again, that just goes to show how even when you're winning, even when you're ahead significantly, Fire Giant buffs, you know, simple mistakes like just not being fully grouped when you're going for a Phoenix Siege or just deep into their jungle, potentially going for something can really punish you. I think right now Flourish are...
Get the bomb.
Do they not get the bomb? Dude, the Pyromancer doesn't even get off the map if you don't pick up the bomb. I mean, it's so obvious. Anyway, as I was saying...
I'm upset.
I think it was just a mistake by Flourish, and now they're sort of on a timer here. They do something, I think, you know, in 5 to 10 minutes, if the game hasn't ended, there's a very real possibility that we're seeing Sunbreakers coming back from this, to the point, you know, if we get to where Naja can set up for a mage that can, you know, absolutely one-shot someone, completely different game. Definitely still highly favored for Flourish. Flipping Ninjas going for the... Oh my...
Wow. Giant dog falls down. We didn't even get to see the fight, realistically.
I'm
Ragemore finds Flippin' Ninjas, takes him into the sky with Windfire Wheels on the landing. Still alive for now, but not much longer.
There we go.
Ragemore gets the kill onto the Ao Kuang. That's a big pick, but they did lose their own jungle as well.
For sure, definitely. You know, it's an interesting trade. You know, obviously very, very strong Ao Kuang versus a giant dog who might get a very, very massive Fear No Evil. So, not the worst trade for either team. I think Sunbreakers are going to have a giant dog up by the time Flourish are going to be able to go for anything, whether it's a Phoenix. Obviously, I think the better call is to do what they're doing is just Fire Giant. And man, those bombs from Agni are
they're
so
doing
much
numbers.
damage.
But I almost said something before. ZTan hit CACTUSARMS with just one singular bomb, and it did about 700 damage, it looked like, maybe 600 onto the Maui. There is a big level difference there, but the damage was still significant, and that's going to matter big for this Fire Giant. It looks like Flourish might just set up to go for picks here around the fire. They know they got the advantage. They have all the gold, all the experience. They've got a bomb because they decided to pick it up. I mean, everything's going the way of Flourish right now, and Sunbreakers has to find an opening. Is the opening almond butter? Sash into the silence? I don't think so.
You know, to give, you know, like, credit where credit is due. This is the Divine Division. This is your absolute top of the top. These players have been playing and getting Pyromancers, getting Portal Demons for, you know, 10 years and not having to pick up a bomb. So, you know, it's just something they're definitely going to have to get used to, I imagine. we won't be seeing it too much when people are getting more used to it. People play more and understand just how effective those runic bombs are. I mean, they can absolutely demolish towers, especially if you have a lot of them. They can secure fire giants.
Eyes
They
on
can do
flipping ninjas
Titan
in the top
damage.
there.
It's insane. Ooh, look at this.
Ao
Koala has
Kwang's
no
gonna find
idea.
Koala.
He
He
has
doesn't
no
see the Ao
idea.
Kwang.
Oh.
If you don't see him, it might be too late. CACTUSARMS with the cutoff. Illusion goes through. Koala going to be found. Down half health, still alive though. Ragemore is the one falling quick, and Voltcha's on target with almost everything, but now Voltcha's caught out. Has to beads and falls down to Evan. Big pick there for Sunbreakers. Voltcha does kill Cactus using the Bramble. Flippin' Ninjas kills Koala. Frostech kill Giant Dog. It's not looking great for Sunbreakers. Evan and Rage are the only ones alive, and Evan gets pushed against the wall. Evan's going to fall. Ragemore going to have to back. Flourish there, losing one member, does well with the Fire Giant buff, but now, do they go for Fire and not have it on Voltcha, or do they try to wait and get it on their ADC is the big question.
I don't think immediately going for the Fire. I think they could have taken a Phoenix, backed off, and then gone to the Fire. Getting a Phoenix, and definitely ensuring that Voltcha gets the Fire Giant buff. They might be able to hold it.
Ragemore is going to at least contest, but taking damage quick. So is Frostech. Fire Giant's doing numbers to Kakol, and he's got to get out of there quickly. Ragemore goes right to mid lane. That was enough to stall things out over at the Fire Giant, but I don't think it's going to stop it for long. Voltcha's now up. Fire Giant is being completely pulled. Ao Kwang waiting by Pyromancer for somebody to show face, and it's going to be an easy Fire Giant for Team Flourish.
Teleports back in. Definitely no chance. Sunbreakers can really contest any. Maybe we'll see a landfall steal here, but no, can't even step up in time. Yeah, it's Flourish still in really strong control here. Sunbreakers just have to pray that they can defend. They definitely are capable of doing it if Flourish make some mistakes that we've definitely just seen them make this game. I think, you know, with the Tiamat being really good at defending.
Yeah,
Fear no evil.
It's set up well. You're okay. They're set up for a good defense. It's there. The key to the defense is, you know, staying alive to defend, and that's going to be the problem here for Sunbreakers. Right. Flourish is dealing damage. I mean, look at the charts. When you take Evan out of the equation, you just have Ragemore in the middle, and everything else is blue, minus, of course, the supports. So it's going to be an uphill battle. They've got a better team composition, arguably, than game number 1 to defend, maybe aside from the ADC role, since Koala still has not gotten Rage stacks in line, just a bit far behind. But there's potential here. They just got to play clean and hope Flourish makes some aggressive mistakes.
You know, it definitely is something to be said about Evan on this Tiamat pick being top damage despite having to play from so far behind. Nearly 30k damage is really impactful. I think it would be a completely different game, and I mean, we've seen a completely different game.
Hang on, Cosmic. We got a Dharmic Pillars into a Frenzy Pop. Flip it just goes in. Ragemore taking damage. So is Koala, and Giant Dog has been eaten by the king of the Eastern Seas. Flip it just lands on top of Ragemore, who then instantly goes into the sky. On the landing, still alive, falls down to Flip Ninjas. It's a double kill for the Ao Kwang. They're going to look for more. Phoenix falls. Positioning a bit weird here for Flourish with the wall in between. Koala takes a lot of damage from ZTan. There's going to be a Titan Siege Bomb on Titan. Doesn't do too much right away, and Titan has been reset anyway. But a lot of damage is coming out. CACTUSARMS cut off. Frostech has the kill on the CACTUSARMS. They're going to look for the Titan. Koala and Evan alive to defend. Evan's a damage dealer. Koala's got his back. 5 members up for Team Flourish. They dash in, a Koala still alive. Evan goes in, does good damage in the back to Frostech and a Voltcha. They're going deep, and Flippin' Ninja's about to kill an Evan, but dies to Koala. Titan is still alive. Koala still defending. ZTan killed Koala. Evan, with the help of the Titan, kills almondbutter. Deicide. Victory goes the way of Team Flourish. They take the set 2-0, and their record is now 1-0 for the season. Welcome to Season 2, Divine.
Yeah, very just well played all around by Flourish. Not quite as quick and clean cut as game number 1, but just as convincing of a victory. Getting deep into their Phoenix, wiping them out, and just killing that Titan. And preceded by some very great fights around Fire Giants, and just great understanding of everything as far as Chernobog ult and just how impactful Naja solo lane is going to be, and Giant Dog, just knowing how impactful that ultimate can be, just take him out of the fights early. I think that was very, very well played overall by Flourish, and I think that the Sunbreakers can definitely learn a lot here in the VOD review. I think if they take the time to, they can see, some of these jungle rotations, how they could have been improved, how jungle could have been more impactful all across the map. We definitely saw an improvement from game number 1, but there's definitely more that can be improved on.
For sure. One of the things that's tough about casting is we can only talk about what we see. We can't talk about what happens after unless, we're there. And there's a lot that could be done after here for Sunbreakers that could really make a difference because there is a lot to succeed here. I think for me, the keys here going forward are you've got a strong support in CACTUSARMS. Admittedly, a much rougher game number 2 than game number 1 for Cactus, which was the only member that had that be the case. But I think if you can play around Cactus and play around Evan and kind of build your team and your plays outward from there, I think there's a lot for the Sunbreakers team they've got going for them and a lot they could potentially do. But granted, you can't talk, we can talk highly as we want to about Sunbreakers. Flourish here did show that they came to play this season. This is a well put together, strong team. They've got calls on lock. They've got damage. They know what they want to play. Everyone has independent talent between, Flippin' Ninjas and ZTan, who we know Voltcha and Frostech really showed out. And almondbutter, we talked about it a lot, but just got to this team and really showed out on support. So I think Team Flourish is a team to watch going forward. Cosmic, your final thoughts?
I think I've pretty much said it all. Just really, really great play. Flippin' Ninjas putting on an absolute masterclass in both games, showing how you can't ban him out. He's just gonna pick these top gods, whatever it is, and just perform. And yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Very, very great performance by Flourish. Beautiful 2-0. Congratulations to them. Very well deserved.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to leave you here. This has been the Divine Division on the Smite Draft League. Flourish takes the victory over Sunbreakers. I've been Anthony Mellum. I had Cosmic Warrior with me. iNooblet was on cameras today, and a big shout out to him for all the work on production. We hope you enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube and keep up with our content as we will be releasing games Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays each week leading into our finals. We'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League.